All right, testing. Oh, there we go. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Had technical issues. I think everything should be fine. All right. So it's almost midnight. It's about 11. It's 11:49 p.m. at the time I'm doing this live. Hi, Kat. Hola, buenas noches. I know it's late, okay, because I was doing my information stuff. I had technical issues, okay. OBS is just like driving me nuts because I'm trying to put the slides together and everything, and for some reason, when I do this thing with the what is this called? The video capture. Well, not video capture, sorry. It was something with a capture, and it's not popping up. It when you there's this thing where you just choose, and when I do PowerPoint, it, at one point I want PowerPoint, and then if I can switch, it won't let me switch. It sucks because this is going to be important updates. So without further ado, we got to do this. That's weird. Maybe you need to share display or window. I have to see that. Oh wait, that always I always mess it up. I have to go back with the slides here. We have to do an update first. Oh my goodness, a lot of updates. Okay, so it's been very busy. Of course, every single day I'm monitoring COVID, and also at right now I want to thank you, muchas gracias, to Kat. Okay, thank you for modding. Okay, I know it's a little late, but I need you in case if you're going to correct me or something like that. And you're one of my COVID experts, along with DJ Nikki them. So, okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, I try my best to put as much updates as I can. There are so many. Okay. So now you can see for the first thing I found out in Governor Kathy Hochul's the the briefing is that about half of New York City hospital patients with COVID, they were admitted not because they have COVID. It was because of non-COVID reasons. One person actually is actually I think it was a son. Yeah, it is crazy. Half of it came because of COVID, and then the other half or came because of something else. There was one I think at work, but it's not has nothing to do with the person at work. Has something to do with a relative of one of our coworkers. Got into an accident, went to the emergency room because he's injured, and of course, per protocol, they have to test everybody, and he had no symptoms whatsoever, but he is obese. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he got tested positive with COVID. He wasn't even aware of it. So that is crazy. Yeah, everyone is alive, but they're really injured because they got into a car accident. It was before the holidays, and all it was they were trying to help, I think, the mom, okay, who is a coworker, and some person sideswiped and got into an accident, and everyone got hurt. Thankfully, they all survived, but it was a traumatic experience, especially if you have a small family and all three of them got hurt. Imagine how you would feel. So, yeah. The next thing, I don't understand why people go crazy over something called flurona. All right, people can get infected, by more than one infection. Okay, it happens. Yes, there people make this up. Please don't give in to the hype. Please don't. I repeat, please do not give in to the hype. Why? Because we can treat both of them. Okay, before you would take the vaccines, both the COVID and the flu vaccines 2 weeks apart. Now we have studies where that it's safe to apply both at the same time. In this case, one in this arm, one in the other arm. So basically, the person is infected with both. That's correct. You don't have to be They don't have to infect at the same time. As long what the definition is having both. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be simultaneously. They can get COVID and then the flu, or the other way around. What's the hard part is that these are both respiratory viruses that share common symptoms. And to be honest with you, just because you have both of them doesn't necessarily mean the symptoms get worse. Okay, really depends on the person. All right, and given how a lot of people don't take care of ourselves and we're not eating healthy, all we're doing is eating junk. This is what happens. You know, your body isn't performing at an optimum rate, and it will do crazy things on you. And your body will not be able to fight infections properly if you don't take care of your own body and eat healthy and exercise. I'm sick and I still don't know what it is. So it depends on when the last time you got tested. And I mean, so you have to know when the last time you were tested with both the PCR and the antigen. What I'm concerned is that, if if you go to the doctor's office physically and get a checkup and you're still tested positive, you could spread it. And that's what I'm concerned about. So, next thing, Governor Hochul. Sorry, I know you're in New Jersey, but this is like more with New York. But don't worry, there's other stuff that we're going to talk about. So, I got tested yesterday when I was only coughing. I see. Still, have you taken anything such as, Mucinex or Robitussin DM? You have to get a lot of rest, drink a lot of fluids. I don't know if you've taken those. So I recommend those. Tylenol, lots of tea. Let's add a little bit of Mucinex right there. Okay, so anything with guaifenesin, dextromethorphan. I focus more on the guaifenesin if your coughs are a bit more mucusy. So you feel as though that you want to get these things out of your throat. Can you spell it on the chat? So Mucinex DM or Robitussin DM. Main active ingredients would be the guaifenesin. So this one is what we call a mucolytic. Mucolytic that breaks mucus down. You need to drink a lot of water. You need lots of fluids for it to work. Okay. So there is something called the DM component, is what we call dextromethorphan. Okay, so this is mainly used for dry cough. A lot of times you'll see both of them together. That's why you have Robitussin DM, Mucinex DM, and so on, and all these different formulations. Is because it's more with reducing the cough. If you have just the guaifenesin alone, that will be great. Okay, you want to cough so you can get all that yucky stuff out. All right, and I prefer hot fluids too. Okay, why? Because heat actually kills the virus. That's number one. That's why you have fevers. Of course, you don't want to have too high of a fever. That's why, again, you have Tylenol. All right. So fever is if you have a temperature above 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know who chooses that, but if you feel like you have a fever and the temperature is below 100, for example, that's okay. All right, but we don't want it too high. If you do it too high, then it's going to affect your brain. You're not going to think straight. Some people get seizures when they have too high of a fever. Oh, so it was close. So yeah, so don't overuse Tylenol. So you use Tylenol when it goes way too high. 101, I would go for the Tylenol. And so some people will take 1 or 2 tablets. I'm more of a 1 tablet, see how that goes. Okay, really depends on the person. So next thing is, you probably heard this in the news, rapid tests could be less sensitive to Omicron. Try not to worry about it, because please, you have to do both rapid PCR. I do it every single weekend. I will probably do it again this coming Sunday, because the last time I did it was the Sunday before my birthday. Oh, by the way, as you know, Kat, you already know this one, but for those who don't, my birthday was yesterday, January 6th, Three Kings Day, El Dia de los Tres Reyes, okay, which, a lot of Catholic, basically most Catholics celebrate. That's when the Three Kings arrive to the stable, okay. That's still part of our Christmas. For us, we in the Philippines, we start Christmas September 1st. Well, most of them. I like to start Christmas on Thanksgiving, and I like to end Christmas on my birthday. Sometimes I want to continue it until mid January. Okay, we Filipinos are a little crazy. We love our holidays. Yes, I did get presents, and I got the bed here. I don't know if you can see it. This one, the bed got higher, so you'll see that here. I'm a mess today, so that's number one. Number two, I'm going to show you a gift. I got this one. I got this. Maybe I should switch here. So I got this for my brother. So I know that's nice. Okay, so I got two pops. The second pop I have is over here. I know he just flipped over a little bit here. I don't watch a lot of Game of Thrones, but I got this for free. So here it is. This is from my cousin. Let's see what this one is. So, let's see. We got Naruto. Look at that. I'm gonna still keep it in the box. So yeah, got that from my cousin. And also I have a capture card, which I'll show. Where's my capture card? I don't know. It's hiding somewhere. But the thing is, I need. Actually, I have a question. Can I? I have a Nintendo Switch Lite. Is there any way I can connect it to my laptop and I can do streaming? I don't know if that's possible, because at some point I will be streaming games. All right, so we get back to COVID. So now, there's one interesting thing I found out earlier tonight, that there is a club in West Village called Henrietta Hudson. It's a gay bar, and they provide free rapid and PCR testing, which is great. So at the time there were no lines. So yeah. The thing is, though, of course, if you find out you get positive, most likely you're not going to get any drinks. Because you have to get out of the bar. But if you are negative, come on in. I don't know if you get free drinks though if you get a negative test, but but I did find out on their Instagram that this bar provides both free rapid and PCR testing. And the rapid one, you already know, it's 15 minutes or less, and PCR takes about 1 to 2 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. they're going to do the testing. So if you work during the day, this is great. And you hit two birds with one stone if you want to party and get tested at the same time. And Friday and Saturday, 6 p.m. to 3 a.m., which is pretty interesting, because a lot of the testing sites that I've seen is that, especially with the mobile vans, they open at 8 in the morning, and then they close super early. They close at 7 p.m. Even though it looks pretty good, a lot of people have to go to work. Most work schedules tend to be 9 to 5. I think that's kind of shrinking a little bit now that people are working in their home, or their schedules are being changed because some jobs are like staggering, so they can try to reduce the crowds. Who knows? Okay, yes, it is an interesting idea. I think more bars should do that. Okay, so Next thing is New York will require healthcare workers to get boosters with no test out options. The only thing you'd be exempt would be a medical exemption, but I don't think you're gonna get a lot of that because if you're able to get your primary regimen of doses, okay, uh, what's how would you have a medical exemption for getting a booster? It doesn't make sense. so, so there's not going to be a lot of opposition. So they've done if you've done the shots before, you can definitely deal with a booster. And another thing is that pediatric COVID hospitalizations are skyrocketing really fast, especially in New York City. So it went up like what I think it's 52. It's just really high. I have to look at the data. It's a lot, and you'll see a lot of that for those ages under 5. The hospitalizations go up simply because they're not eligible for the vaccines yet. There is a study which I will get to in a little bit where they they already got results for the ages 6 months to those under age 5. Yes, you see a lot of cases in the school, and even though it's safe, it's only safe if all these protocols are enforced and if they're abided by. And one thing I also found out earlier is that childhood COVID infections could increase risk of juvenile diabetes. If you've seen my COVID webinars a while back, long time ago, but more importantly, if you see my stuff on Instagram, so COVID is not just a respiratory disease, all right? What happens is that, especially with kids, their symptoms tend to be a little bit different. And you'll see something called MIS-C. It's called multi-inflammatory syndrome in children. That's MIS-C. So I'll just write that down just in case for the chat. Equals multi-inflammatory, okay, syndrome in children. All right. Not everyone may have the respiratory syndrome, respiratory symptoms, but what they'll have is sometimes they'll have what we call a strawberry tongue, where it's really red. That's one. Not everyone may have that symptoms. Some kids may have COVID toes, so that's due to a decreased circulation. And a lot of times when there is inflammation, sometimes clots can form, and it's kind of a body's way of saying, oh, we got to prevent the spread of it. But the problem is when you have clots forming, the other issue is, you could have something called a DVT. You can have a like clogged arteries. We don't want that. That could cause problems. What if it goes into the brain? You'll have like an ischemic stroke. That's not good. All right. And you may get a heart attack as well, where a clot goes into one of the coronary arteries. These arteries are used to help provide oxygen and nutrition to the heart, and then the tissue starts necrosing, meaning breaking apart, dying, all because it's not getting the adequate blood supply. Very scary stuff, even when I say this. So, the and this happens actually both in children and adults, but you see this more with the kids. So, and there's another term that they call it COVID Kawasaki. I don't hear that a lot, but if you do come across that, that's also interchange with MIS-C. All right. So it's a lot of information. We're gonna go into indicators. This is New York City, and whew, all right, it's a lot of cases. I have someone who told me, you know what, cases are just BS. Cases are not BS because it gives you an idea of what's going to happen. So in the before Omicron, there was Delta, so there was a lot of hospitalizations, but vaccines were, yes, you got negative, yay! All right. So, but if you still have the symptoms, even if both tests are negative, PCR and rapid, if you still have the symptoms of still coughing and all that, you still have to rest, okay? Because you could be spreading something else, which whether it's a flu, some other coronavirus, such as the common cold. There are different coronaviruses, trust me, okay? But the one that we're dealing with is COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2. That's the main virus, okay? There's also respiratory syncytial virus or RSV, so watch out for that. Rhinoviruses, adenoviruses, yes, so many. So, still get your rest, get your fluids in, get your vitamin D, your vitamin C, your B12, elderberry, all your, the people use sambuco. It's also elderberry as well. Get your zinc in, if I haven't said that yet. All right. So, average of almost 40,000 cases per day in New York City, which is almost three threefold increase, 179% from 2 weeks ago. And since the beginning, about 20%, 1 in 5 residents got infected. So we're approaching 2 million reported cases ever since the start of the pandemic. So if you're unvaccinated, you're basically screwed. Okay, if you haven't gotten your booster yet, all right, I have a patient where he only got a Johnson & Johnson shot in May of 2021. We're in January 2022. I spoke to him today. I don't know how he got an antibody test. They told him that he has no antibodies anymore. So he asked me, should I get a booster? And I said, you're eligible for it. Oh, Kat, I have a question. You don't have to go be specific, but if you did get a 2-dose vaccine, what month was the second dose? I don't know if that's clear. So that will determine and then if you got Pfizer or Moderna, because the rules are going to change a little bit. It was in June. So which ones, if Pfizer or Moderna? We're actually going to go over a little bit later. Okay, so New York State indicators not looking good either. Okay, less people are being tested, decrease in 13%. Cases are going up almost by triple as well, 173%. Oh boy. Okay, and hospitalizations are doubling, and deaths are doubling. That's not good. Okay, Pfizer. It's actually new information coming up. So I will tell you that you're gonna need your booster sooner than you think. What I wanted to add is that just because a virus doesn't do a lot of killing, but it does a lot of spreading, it's still gonna do more killing. Okay, so the more it spreads, even if there's a lower chance of it, since it's affecting more people, you're also expanding the amount in quantity of people getting hospitalized and dying. All right, if that makes sense. So, when you see here, look, it's pretty similar here from New York State. So this is New York City. This is New York State. And then this is the country. Country is also not doing pretty well either. All going up. So here, this is the new information. Oh, actually, this is not new. This is just a reminder. If you have Pfizer, you already know 2 doses, 3 weeks apart. In the beginning, it was ages 16 and up. Now, because of all the studies and all the approvals, it's now ages 5 and up. And this one I talked about a little bit before. Pfizer did a study where it looked into these really young kids from age 6 months old, when they're half a year old, to under 5 years old. So the reason why they did 3 doses is because they initially wanted to do 2 doses 3 weeks apart. And it's a much smaller dose simply because they want to be safe with the kids. It is safe. The dose is cut big time though. The problem is it wasn't efficacious, meaning it wasn't effective in protecting them from COVID. So you may be asking yourself, why can't they do another study where they would increase the dose of the vaccine? It requires a lot of money, and it also you have to start over again. So instead of starting over and getting new people and trying to increase the dose, what they're doing is they keep the dose the same, but they're going to add a third dose to the regimen. So instead of for those who are age 5 and up, those who are ages 6 months to under the age of 5, they're going to need 3 doses as a primary series. So the proposal is, of course, 3 weeks between dose 1 and 2, and at least 2 months between doses 2 and 3. And that could change. Okay. Now, since it's proposed, that this is not approved by the FDA or the CDC. So, for the time being, again, for those under the age of 5, they're not eligible for any kind of vaccination. Okay, I know it's a lot. Moderna, I have that one. 2 doses at 4 weeks apart. That's only for 18 and up. Same for Johnson Johnson. It's also 18 and up as well. I don't know what's taking so long. Okay, Pfizer's moving so fast. Might as well Moderna have to follow with Pfizer simply because Moderna has a similar formulation, since Pfizer and Moderna are both mRNA vaccines. So Moderna, 2 doses, 4 weeks apart, and Johnson Johnson, 1 dose. Or is it 1 dose? You probably know that there's something going on there. Okay, just as a reminder, also Johnson Johnson is now considered a second line. So the first line is either Pfizer or Moderna. I understand why you don't like J&J. In the beginning we thought, oh, it's a 1 dose thing. So there are reasons why. There are 3 reasons why there's an issue. So the first one, everyone should know by now, is the increase of blood clots. Even though it's roughly 1 in a million chance, the ones who are at higher risk are usually young women, and so that's why it's not first line. Happy birthday! Yes, thank you. Hey, DJ, my other mod is here. Yes. That's right. Okay, yes, I am the brains of the new age blinders. So I think our friend, the missing Shelby, is there. But sorry, I'm gonna continue. All right. Yes, thank you for the raid. Oh my goodness, I appreciate it. Thank you. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Dean. All right, or you can call me Dr. Dean. All right. Why? Because I have my Doctor of Pharmacy degree. I got it in LIU Brooklyn in 2013. And even though most people on Twitch, they do gaming, I have not done gaming yet. I am a educational streamer, just chatting person, and I go over COVID stuff like I'm doing right now. And after I finish this COVID presentation, I'm also gonna do subways. Okay, and my subway is actually not complete. Actually, it's only for the subways because I didn't look into Long Island Railroad and Metro North advisories. But yes, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you, muchas gracias, Shelby. Okay, so for those who missed it, I went over COVID updates, but it mainly covers New York City. I also went over the indicators. Now we're going over the COVID vaccine regimen, and this is for the United States, as you can see on the slide. So I described it here. Okay, this is as it stands as of January 7th, 2022. Okay, so booster update. This is where the changes occur, and I don't know if anyone can see the slides. Okay, if it's clear, I know the text is much smaller. Okay, so if you started with Pfizer, okay, actually before we go into it, I know I'm all over the place. For those who are watching from Canada, you guys have, as far as I remember, it is AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Pfizer. If you get your first dose as Pfizer, your second dose could be Moderna, and it could be the other way around because they're both mRNA vaccines. We don't do that here in the US. In AstraZeneca, which is not approved in the US, you can get your first dose of AstraZeneca, and then the second dose, you can get it any of the three in Canada. For if you have a Pfizer or Moderna, the first dose, you can only do either Pfizer or Moderna. You can't do AstraZeneca for Canada. That's for Canada, okay? All right, thank you so much for the lurk. Muchas gracias por lurkear. Okay, anyway, so back to this. This is for the United States. If you started with Pfizer, so the first two doses you got are Pfizer, and they're taken 3 weeks apart. If you are age 18 and older, you can take one dose of any three, at least 5 months, not 6. It's 5 months after the second dose. I don't know how they did that. I don't know why they did that. I think I'm going to assume that given that they're trying to fight this surge. So now back, as I've stated earlier, they prefer either a Pfizer or a Moderna simply because of that the blood clot risk from Johnson and Johnson. For ages 12 to 17, all 3 shots have to be Pfizer because that's the only data we have. And I just want to be very clear because I made one mistake on Instagram. I'm very sorry about that. Or maybe could be like just a foreshadowing, so to speak. There is no booster guidance for those under age 11. On the post that I did, at the time I was doing it right before my shift was about to start. So I was in a Dunkin' Donuts and I was typing so fast. And I wrote down by mistake that ages 5 to 17 have to be Pfizer, and that ages 5 to 17 they can get the booster. That's not true, not yet. Okay, I think given the pattern that's going on, I think we could have a booster that's going to be, they're going to be eligible for a booster, the ages 5 to 11. I mean, that's because it started out, I know before the CDC approved it, in New York City, the health commissioner, Dr. Dave Choksi, he said, oh, all adults, get your booster at least 6 months after. Oh yeah, send the question, yeah. So what I'm saying is that, it started out as adults, and then after that it went to ages 16 and 17, and then it went to ages 12 to, it's actually 12 to 15, but anyway, 12 to 17, that's fine. So basically, ages 12 and up, you're eligible for a booster if you started with Pfizer, so at least 5 months after the second dose. If you started with Moderna, if you're age 18 and up, actually it's only for ages 18 and up anyway, you can choose any one of the 3 doses at least 6 months after the second dose. I have all 3 Moderna doses. My first dose was January 16th, 2021. Then it was February 13th, 2021. However, I kind of broke the rules a little bit, but it's not my fault. I got my third dose, the booster dose, in October 23rd. 2021. It was about 2 days after they approved it for Moderna. They keep in mind Pfizer was always the first for everything, boosters and all that stuff. So it was 8 months and 10 days after my second dose. I got my Moderna. So what I'm when you get the booster, you don't have to get it exactly 6 months after. You can be flexible. Just bear in mind that the longer you delay it, the more you're at risk of getting a breakthrough infection. I am confused with some results. I'll look at it later. Sorry. So now, if you start with Johnson and Johnson, this is only for 18 and up. It could be one dose of any three. It's actually, I made a little boo boo. It's at least 2 months, not 5 months. Age 18 up, at one dose of any three, preferably Pfizer or Moderna, at least 2 months after that initial dose. What are they? At least 2 months after the initial dose. Yep, I'm human. I make mistakes. I am so sorry. If you're moderately or severely immunocompromised for adults, you take one dose of Moderna or Pfizer at least 28 days after your second shot. So this is more towards if you completed your Pfizer Moderna series, the two dose series, you wait at least 28 days. If your age is 5 to 17, now this one, if you're moderately or severely immunocompromised, this also includes the ages 5 to 11 range. So healthy people with healthy immune systems, aged 5 to 11, you're not eligible for booster yet. At least not yet. Just it's coming though. I have a feeling, but ages 5 to 17 who are moderately or severely immunocompromised, it's Pfizer for all three shots. Okay. So I know it's a lot. It's a lot to go over. I've actually at one point wanted to add the COVID isolation guidelines and go over it. That would be I'm probably going to do that for Sunday because it's a lot of information. But I really, really, really want to emphasize this. Okay. So I heard someone say that booster shots are going to be annual. My shots are all Pfizer. Is that true? I would say that it could be a little bit more sooner. Okay, given how Pfizer, it wanes faster than Moderna, I'm going to predict, and I could be wrong, but this is based on information from Israel. They're planning to do a fourth dose, or in this case, a second booster dose for those who are ages 60 and up, or those with weak immune systems. Remember, keep in mind, Israel was one of the first countries to do the boosters, and how the United States were able to approve the boosters was some of that data was from Israel, and the first booster shot, it was to fight the Delta variant. So now they're going to use the fourth dose or that second booster shot to fight the Omicron variant. And I think I had one person ask me, "Oh, why don't you do a vaccine every month?" And that doesn't really make sense. I think in a logistical point of view, and I think that's asking a lot of it, a lot. So after doing the primary dosing regimen, and then after that doing the first booster shot, I think it could be maybe 2 shots a year at least, just to maintain that optimal immunity. But again, things can change. This is a very fluid situation. So if there's any changes, I will post it on Instagram. That's the first thing it will go. And then I do my little webinar on Twitch. So now, very important, and I'm going to say this again because I don't think people are listening to me. Please do your part. Please, please. And again, I'm not asking a lot. This is pretty basic. So get fully vaccinated and boosted. Now, if you're fully vaccinated and you want to get the booster, please wait. And you got Pfizer from the first 2 doses. you gotta wait 5 months. If it's before 5 months, you gotta wait. I'm sorry, but even though it's important to get fully vaccinated and boosted, that's just one layer. That's not enough. We got to do better than that. Why? Because of all these breakthroughs. And I'm seeing that in my practice. So you wear a mask, but now we got to step up our A game. Got to do your N95s. Oh, those are the ones I have trouble breathing. KN95 is the one I'm wearing, and KF94. They're all the same. If you're not able to get those, you can double mask. It's also hard, hurts my ears. So, most importantly, in indoor settings and gatherings. Okay, and I don't care where the gatherings are, whether it's indoors, outdoors, or somewhere in between, wear a mask. I wear a mask all the time, except where I'm in my own room and I'm alone. Look at this, see? All right. If you're sick, and even if it's mild, get tested. Both rapid and PCR. Rapid, you get your information right away, and PCR is more like a confirmatory test. Preferably 1 to 3 days prior to gatherings, or do it weekly. I have to do it weekly. Well, I choose to because I'm dealing with the public, and I don't know if anyone is tested positive or not because, of course, not everyone's getting tested regularly, especially for those who have no symptoms. And for those who have really bad symptoms and they're not really feeling well, it doesn't really make sense to get tested like in the lines. If you want to get PCR tested, best way to do it is to get a home test, okay, and see. Anyway, but even if the rapid and the PCR are negative and you're not feeling well, you better stay home and get some rest. All right, because we don't want you to spread other things as well, whether it's COVID, RSV, if it's the flu, if it's adenovirus, rhinovirus, whichever it is, especially when you go to big events like cons, concerts, in persona tournaments like personal tournaments like Yu-Gi-Oh, or well, in-person tournaments such as Yu-Gi-Oh or FGC. I don't even know what that is. I'm not a big card game guy. I know Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Duel Masters. not I used to be into it, not into it. So even so, if you've tested positive and or have symptoms, you quarantine. Okay, fighting game community. Okay, got it. If possible, social distance. Social distance. The thing with me living in New York City, it's not realistic. Gotta wear a mask. Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay, you gotta wash your hands. Try to limit duration in crowds. Easier said than done. Sorry, but you can still go to cons. I'm not saying don't. Okay, unless of course the con's canceled. There is one con. I think it's in Portland, Oregon. A friend of mine told me. I think Kat knows. I think it's Great Neos. Great guy. Follow him on Instagram. I forgot his Instagram handle anyway. So, but he's a great guy. He's a fit guy. He's buff on it. But anyway, so he's a great friend. So he told me that Fan Expo Portland got canceled because of the Omicron variant. Yes, Great Neos. Yes, that's right. Thank you. And if my friend Jennifer Perez, hello, who's this? I think I got. Thank you so much for following B Boy Zixer. I can't pronounce. I'm so sorry. So I know it's not fully built yet for my Twitch because I've been very busy. The main thing is really the content and just talking about COVID and all that stuff. It's really important because I need everyone to stay healthy and safe, as DJ Nikki Zem have said. Thank you. Yes, he is an awesome Yugi cosplayer. Okay, so please do your part. All right, on Sunday, I'm going to talk about the CDC isolation. I'm going to put a little twisty twist in there because I don't know what's going on with CDC. I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to balance between public safety and trying to make sure people who are healthy enough to work are able to work. because a lot of these what I call essential jobs. So whether you're in grocery, in a supermarket, healthcare, that's the obvious one. If you're if you're doing public transit, if you're a pilot, those kinds of things, they're trying to not have a short staff on all these things because they have to quarantine and all that stuff. Recover safely and don't be like me where you are pressured by time limit to feel better for work the next day. We have to stop normalizing people who are sick going to work. I To be honest with you, I've made that mistake. There was, I think it was 2017, 2016, 2017. I forgot which year it was. I came back from Anime Next and I had con flu or con crud, and I was feeling shitty. Oh, I hope I don't get banned on this. Sorry, it slipped. I'm sorry. So I had something that I think I had bronchitis, and I had fevers. I had a headache, and I was coughing, mucus. And before I started my shift, I went to a Key Food. It was fresh and safe, but who cares? They're the same thing. And I bought the honey, and I bought the tea from the Dunkin' Donuts that was on the next block, and I had the lemon juice, and I was mixing it at work with the hot tea, and there was my boss's doctor actually prescribed me a Z pack, so I had that's azithromycin 250 milligrams. So the first day you have to take two tablets together. So that's what we call a loading dose. So you want to start at a high concentration so we can attack the bacteria causing it, or the suspected bacteria that's causing the infection, and then starting the next day, it's one tablet a day. You have to finish it. So, and I felt better, but it shouldn't be just, oh, when you're sick. You have to make healthy choices every single time. Of course, there'll be some days where you can go splurge, like during the holidays or during the weekends and all that stuff. But you really, really, really got to start taking care of yourself, of your health, taking care of your health. Okay, vitamin C is very important. So make that as a routine, not just when you're sick. All right, that's one example. Drink fluids, eat healthy. Okay, that's in addition to getting your vaccines and wearing your mask, and if you're able to social distance and try to limit the crowds. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna we're gonna go into the New York City subway, if I may, and let's see. There we go. So this will cover for January 8th and the 9th. This is just for the subway. If there's newer information, it will be on my Instagram. You'll see on the top part at Wild Goldine. It's up over this way. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, see all this where it has all these icons. This is all inspired by the signs that I see on that subway station 10 minutes from my house. So for those who take the New York City subway, this is more of like a reminiscent with you see the arrows and all that and the type of font that they use, which is Helvetica. So this is what I'm gonna do. Here we go. So again, this is on Instagram. You'll get the most updated one, but this is just gonna be just a subway. And also, just a heads up, there are still people being sick due to COVID, since Omicron is a very nasty variant. All right, so just know that subway service and bus service will be less, and just pack your patience as best as you can. Without further ado, we're gonna start with the ongoing ones. So the ongoing ones, the 2 and 3 trains skipped Clark Street for elevator replacement, so that'll go on through April of 2022. Okay, so again, this is only for weekends. The D train, I don't know when they're going to reopen this section. I because it says through January 2022. It's January 8th. I'm gonna assume maybe late January. I'm gonna see if there's any information coming out of that. That's for flood protection work. Okay, so in case there's another hurricane, so that section of the D train is replaced by shuttle buses between Bay 50th Street and Coney Island. All right, the next thing is, and by the way, this is weekends. Okay, you may see some Monday through Friday stuff as an ongoing thing on Instagram. That's going to be for when I talk about it on Sunday. So the path trains from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So this is nighttime. So it skips 9th Street and 23rd Street because they're doing some work. Next thing is that looks like I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Southbound A and C trains, they're going express between 59th Street, Columbus Circle to Canal Street, southbound. So they're going to skip 50th Street, 23rd Street, and Spring Street. However, the northbound, it's going to make all the stops between Canal Street and 59th Street. The westbound E and R trains, so by the way, no M trains on weekends. So E trains and R trains will go express between 71st Avenue over here to Queens Plaza. So it'll only make that stop on Roosevelt Avenue. You can see here. Let me just zoom out of it. Yeah, maybe I'll zoom out a little bit here. Okay, make sure everyone can see that. Okay, so now the next one is southbound E trains. So the Manhattan bound E trains will be on the F line between 5th Avenue, 53rd Street. It's gonna follow here, or actually will follow the M, but again, the M will not run in this part of Queens. M train will only run between Delancey, Essex, and Metropolitan Avenue, just letting you know. So it'll follow the F. The E train will follow the F from 5th Avenue. It'll go into Rockefeller Center. And again, this is southbound. And they'll make local stops here until West 4th. But in West 4th, it's going to be on the lower level where the F train is. And then it'll switch over to its regular route to World Trade Center. The next thing is, oh, by the way, the ones I'm talking about right now, this is from 9:45 p.m. to 5 a.m. So 9:45 p.m. on Friday. So it's ongoing right now. So it's until 5 a.m. on Friday, January 10th. Okay, so that being said, there will not be any F or G trains. So no F south of Church Avenue. So you're going to have to be using other lines and local bus routes along the F train. So watch out for that. The other thing is for the G train, it'll only run between Church Avenue and Bedford Nostrand over here, and the bus will run on the rest of the route between Court Square and Bedford Nostrand. Also, the southbound N train is local between Manhattan Bridge and 59th Street in Brooklyn. And this is to accommodate the F train. Excuse me. I think I'm talking a lot. All right. The next one is from 11:30 p.m. So it has started over an hour ago until 5 a.m. on January 10th. This one is a little bit of a doozy. So the 2 train, it's going to be a little weird. 2 train's going to run between Dyer Avenue, and then it's going to go all local, by the way. And it'll go all the way through here through its regular route, and then it'll go all the way to South Ferry. From Chambers Street to South Ferry. It'll be on the one train. However, two trains will be local south of 34th Street, so it'll go on the one train from 34th Street all the way to South Ferry. There will not be any three trains south of 14th Street. So no three trains here. No three trains south of 14th Street. Also, the 4 train, because the 3 train will not run into Brooklyn, the 4 train will be running local east of Nevin Street to take the place of the 3 train. And 4 train will run full time during the weekend to New Lots Avenue. Next thing is the 5 train. So it goes on its regular route in Manhattan. The weird thing is that it's going to start at 241st Street, so they do a swap over here. 5 train will actually start here, and then it'll go down, go local, and then it'll go express in Manhattan, and then follow the regular route. However, it's going to go to Flatbush Avenue. Usually it does that during the weekdays, but because of something going on and the 2 train going to South Ferry instead of Flatbush Avenue, the 5 will take its place. And 5 is also going to be local in Brooklyn, okay, east of Nevin Street. Also, northbound D and N trains will go express between 36th Street and Manhattan Bridge. The next thing is that southbound D trains in the Bronx will go express between 170th Street and 145th Street. It will skip 167th Street, 161st Street Yankee Stadium. Ouch, because how are you going to transfer to the 4 train? And it's going to skip 155th Street. And if you want to get to those stations, you have to take a northbound D train to get to these 3 stops. Next thing, no L trains. We're going to go to Brooklyn again. No L train south of Broadway Junction. So there will be 2 different buses. There's a local bus that goes from Broadway Junction to Canarsie and makes all the stops in between. The other one's an express bus, and it'll just be nonstop from Broadway Junction to Canarsie. Boom, just like that. Next one is the northbound Q will go on the R between DeKalb and Canal. And except for Sunday, 6 a.m. to 11:45 p.m., our train will only run in Brooklyn between 59th Street and 95th Street, only this section here. During this time, this S train here, the 42nd Street shuttle, will be running, and this is to help with the 2 and 5 trains. So if they want to use the 2 train and go to Brooklyn, they can actually transfer it onto the S train. The next thing is the J train will not run east of Crescent Street. So the bus will run between Crescent Street and Jamaica Van Wyck. So this bus will go from here to Crescent Street, and then if you want to go on the last 2 stops, you have to take the E train. So Jamaica Van Wyck, this is Jamaica Avenue. Jamaica Avenue actually goes there. All right, thank you very much, Nikki. Thank you for modding. Thank you for joining. Okay, and hope you stay safe and healthy as well. So the next thing is on 5:30 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. Northbound R will be expressed between 36th Street and Atlantic. And you may have some delays because the northbound express track will be shared by 3 different lines. So just a heads up on that. And finally, the 4 train in the Bronx, 6:45 a.m. to 5 p.m. It will go express southbound between Burnside Avenue and 149th Street Grand Concourse. So you have to take a northbound 4 train to go into those skip stations. So it's a packed weekend if you're in New York City. So wow, that is a long stream. I haven't had long streams like that before. So the ones that I had really long streams was when I was doing the COVID seminars back almost 2 years ago, and I remember also doing con survival slides as well. I've done it con survival slides webinar, but mainly more in person. I actually like to do in person, to be honest with you. But hey, this is close enough, right? So, for those of you who stayed, you're amazing. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for lurking. All of you have been amazing. I want to thank the moderators who came, Nikki, Kat, and Shelby. So for more updates, you can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram. I post all the information in there. And just letting you know, so far, the schedule, I only stream twice a week because I am a full-time pharmacist. And on weekdays, I am crazy busy, except, of course, maybe Friday night. There will be times where I will not be streaming because I'll be going to cons. But if I'm going to stream, usually I post it on Instagram. I tend to post it a little bit last minute because things have been hectic. But generally, it's about 11:30 p.m. I start streaming on Friday nights and Sunday nights. It's New York City time, Eastern time. The other thing is that if you do miss it, it will be on VOD. I think I'm probably going to download this to YouTube. So that's going to take some time. But because I feel a lot of this information is very, very, it's pretty useful. And, even with the really busy schedule, even if there's some streams that I'm not going to be able to do, I'll let you know on Instagram. Anyway, it's been great seeing you all. Okay, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And let's see who am I going to raid. Let's see. I didn't plan this out, did I? Yeah, no. Well, anyway, there wouldn't be a way anyway because sometimes they stop streaming and all that stuff. So we got some really great people here. All right, I don't know if he's still playing. I'm gonna switch over to Arrows, one of my friends. Let's do this. So raid, and let's make sure I get this right. So again, thank you so much for watching my COVID updates and my New York City subway updates. If you do miss out any of it, it will be on my video on demand section. So thank you very much. And in the words of DJ Nikki Zem, all of you, please have a great day and please stay healthy and safe. Peace. Have a good one. Have a good weekend.